Hey there, it's Dina from IDon'tGetItTutoring.com. Today we're going to be talking about properties of multiplication and addition. They're super useful in algebra and honestly, any math you'd do. Let's get started. So, what are they and what do they do? Well, they define the rules as to how we evaluate terms. So once again, they define the rules as to how we use or evaluate our terms. Okay, and it helps us do it easier, faster, and more accurately. Obviously, because of these three factors, obviously it's going to be much more useful later down in the line when we're evaluating big expressions or even simplifying them as well. Now, moving on, let's get started and talk about each property. There's three we're going to talk about today. First up, the commutative property. Take a look at the name, commutative. Does it signify something about its meaning? Commutative has a beginning like commute. And commute means move. So, per the definition, it is the property of moving numbers or commuting numbers. So, basically what this means, no matter what order something is in, multiplied or added, the result will always be the same. Let me write that down for you because it's very important. Yeah, so no matter what order something is added or multiplied in, result stays the same. Okay. Now, let's put this into an example so you could further understand what I mean by this. So let's start with 2 plus 3. That's 5, right? But let's say we were to switch it around and do 3 plus 2. That's also 5. 5 is equal to 5. Commutative property works for addition. Now, let's try multiplying these numbers. 2 times 3. That's 6. Now let's do 3 times 2. Also 6. 6 is equal to 6. Boom. Works for multiplication as well. But now let's try an example where we do multiplication and addition. Let's see what happens. Oops. Okay. 2 times 3 plus 4. Okay. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 4, that's 10. Now let's try switching around the numbers. Let's do 3 times 4 this time, plus 2. All right, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2, that's 14. Wait a minute, 10 is not equal to 14. Therefore, multiplication and addition together are not commutative. It has to be the operation by itself. Because as you saw, when putting them together, it did not give us the same result, and that means that the property didn't work for that. Now, moving on, distributive property. Distributive property can also be kind of deciphered, defined based on the word. Look at distributive, the word distributive. What can you tell by the word? What do you think it means? Look for a word in there. Distributive sounds a lot like distribute. And distribute means to pass on, give, spread. So basically, we're distributing a number and an operation. Okay, so it's most common with multiplication and variables. You won't really see this with addition or subtraction. And when I write x here, that's the multiplication sign, okay? So let's pull up an example. Let's try 2 times x plus 1. We can distribute the 2 times. There's an invisible times side on the outside. So we could distribute this to the x and to the 1. So we're doing 2 times x plus 2 times 1. And then when you solve that, 2 times x is 2x, and then 2 times 1 is 2. So your final result is 2x plus 2. Another example would be 3 times 5 minus 7. Now, of course, you could solve what's in the parentheses first and then multiply it by the outside, but by doing 5 minus 7, which is negative 2, times 3, which is negative 6. But let's use the property and do something a little different. So we could do 3 times 5 minus, we take the sign and drop it down, just like we did here, and then do 3 times 7. 3 times 5 is 15, minus 3 times 7, which is 21. And then 15 minus 21 is negative 6. And like we did earlier, 3 times negative 2 is also negative 6. So both ways work. They both give you the same result. This was just a different way to do it. Now, on to the next operation. Property. Associative property. Associative. Now, once again, take a look at the word. Maybe try to think of a word it sounds like that you already know. Associative sounds like associate. And to associate means to correlate, to relate to. Now, with the associative property, this is when you associate something with numbers in their group. When I was little, I remembered it as the one with moving the parentheses. Because the parentheses are like groups. So they group off or they close off the groups. Let's start with an example. 2 plus 3 in parentheses plus 4 on the outside. Okay, 2 plus 3, 5, plus 4, 9. Now, let's see 2 plus 3 plus 4 in parentheses now. So we took the parentheses from here and we shifted them over one number. So now 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So yes, 9 is equal to 9, showing that the associative property works for addition. Now let's try for multiplication with the same numbers. Okay, 2 times 3, in parentheses, times 4. 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24. Now let's do 2 times 3 times 4 in parentheses. 3 times 4 is 12, times 2, that's 24. Once again, they're equal, also showing that the associative property works for multiplication as well. Now, that was all you needed to know for the properties, and I explained what they do, how they can be applied, and which operations they apply to. Now let's take a look in simplifying an expression to see where they come handy. Let's do 2x plus 5 plus 3x plus 7. Now let's simplify this by combining the like terms. We could first switch 5 and 3x, now making it 2x plus 3x plus 5 plus 7, and this is using the commutative property because we moved the numbers. And that works because they are all addition. Next, we could group these off. So we could do 2x plus 3x in one group because they're like terms. And we could do that plus 5 plus 7 in another group of parentheses. And which one is the one with the parentheses? The associative property. Now, it's super easy. All we have to do is simplify within the parentheses, and then we'll be done. 2x plus 3x is 5x, and then that plus 5 plus 7, which is 12, and then boom, our final answer, 5x plus 12. So we just saw how the properties could be used to simplify an expression, and there we go. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you need extra questions, or if you have any questions, or if you need any extra help, feel free to visit the website idon'tgetittutoring.com for more help, and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.